All right, the real wargamer. The Marshals, Soult 1809. Let me get some translations out of the way that I've mentioned. Just get them right. Obviously, I can do a lot of guessing, but just to be all right. So, I should get my. So, let's do. And I'm going to do rough translations. Okay, so we'll call this one, the heavy one, the one that kind of looks like a highway, we'll call that a road. Let's see, which is which. These ones. This one here, the darker path there is a path. Yeah, that's a path. And then again, these are really brute translations. And finally, we have sentier. Path. Okay, so okay, so that doesn't a trail. Okay, so a road, a path, and a trail. Just use those brute force or quick and inelegant translations. And dispenser does mean. I said I was going to look this up. Dispenser. Oh, dépenser. Expenses, yeah. So, yeah. So the track here goes 0 to 10 is for recording the expenditures of movement points. We had a few more. I'm pretty sure a bark is a ferry, a small boat. All right, a ferry. And then this one, is this a four? They call that one a ferry. How come? I think that's all right. So these symbols right here. The French is bac, but translates as ferry. What is it? What was I saying? Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll leave that as is. Okay, so passing. There's just one thing left over from before. There is the issue of passing. Each player may pass. 2 players pass in a row. It will end. So you have the whole dynamic there. I'm not sure it would have played too much of a difference, you see, because the Anglo-Allied side is on the offensive. So they are certainly pressured to move. But even the Anglo-Allied side can look at the initial French deployment and see that the French also are probably going to want to do some major adjustments. But in any case, there is passing. It would make a lot of sense to pay a lot of attention to that in a face-to-face game. Less so playing solitaire here, but there is still passing. So you can activate. I guess activate for disengagement and/or movement. Then you have combat, and then you have passing. Now, one thing that I know is here, but I've never paid, I've never given it enough attention, is the relationship between combat and activation. Again, I need more experience with this, but let me see if I can find what I'm talking about. Combating. So we'll go back to passing. If both players pass consecutively, the operations phase for that turn is over and play continues with the administrative phase. An activated stack is pivoted. It's probably not the right word, but inverted to indicate that it has been activated. That's when we do that, when we flip them like that, that we do as we go through activating. If a camp, which again is side, if a side has activated all of its units but cannot initiate combat, it must pass. I had that situation before. So for what it's worth, there it is. Now this is what I'm talking about. Note that a combat is not considered an activation. That is really something I got to get my head around. A unit can very well combat and then disengage during the following operation. Move and then combat. Yeah, right, because the detailed game sequence says activate a stack through disengagement and or movement. So you could activate a stack through disengagement and move. Okay. Then back to the text of the rules here, and then okay. So let me start over. A unit can very well combat and then disengage during the following operation, move, and then combat during the following operation. Combat and then combat again if a new enemy stack has penetrated the zone. So that's just something. So for an operation, you choose activating a stack, combating, or passing, which is I still find that a little interesting. But a stack unit, I guess a unit stack, can only be activated once per turn. Now, is that how they actually put it? Then do they ever spell that out? Do they ever spell that out? You do alternate doing one of the following options. Again, activating, combating, or passing. That's why you have to wait, right? You can combat. Then in the next operation, you can disengage and move. Then combat after that in another operation. Do they ever spell that out? See, I wonder if they don't spell it out, but it's just implied. Do they ever? Stack is activated. I am not. I'm not optimistic that it's ever spelled out here. But I'll try one more time. Disengagement. It's too bad that it's never. Yeah, I don't see it spelled out in this first version of the rules. Okay, but it's heavily implied though. Okay. All right. So what we can do is we're in turn 2 here. Each side is going to roll 6-sided die and add their commander's strategic. Whoops, I think that was a 5. Strategic value. So, oh yeah. Now I remember why. I was trying to remember why I found it important to print out the sheet. And this is one reason why, so you can get your values without revealing stuff by flipping over counters. Right, so Wesley, I can just look here, Wesley has a 2. Instead of going here, and instead of flipping it over, which then, I don't know, maybe the opponent gets too much information. So I can just use here. So Wesley has 2, so that's 6, and Soult is a 1. Oh, so it's even. Just trying to remember, what do I do when it's even. I'm trying to remember, do I re-roll or I can't remember. Initiative, re-roll. Okay. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. So Wellesley wins. So we'll go to the Anglo-Allied side. That's the first things first, events. Again, well, you know what, I'm not going to do it how I did before. So here's the Allied chit. They drew the Genie event chit. And I'm not going to change on camera. So I'll get the French event chit the first time I get over on the other side of the board. But I do need to pay more attention to these event chits. They don't overpower though. Why is it not showing up? All right. Genie. There it is. Okay, so yeah, it is. Oh, it's Anglo-Allied and French. Possible. It's also 1808 and 1809. The Genie, which means engineering, has 2 possible uses: destruction of a bridge. Oh, repairing a bridge. Ooh. Okay, so this could be important. Destruction of a bridge, repairing a bridge. Well, I'll leave it at that. Obviously, it's related to a bridge, so that's that. Go ahead and review again. Argenton, Douro, the river. Douro is the river there, which again, we're not to the Douro yet. And then there's that Fuite, which is what is it, pursuit? Escape. Escape, yeah. So escape for cavalry, the Douro River for if the bridge to Oporto is destroyed. That's Oporto there. That's the bridge. Okay, that's from the history of the campaign. And then Argenton. The Anglo-Allied player can turn over all the enemy units hidden in 2 zones anywhere on the map. That's pretty significant, 2 zones. Means a lot less in this solitaire game, but you know, is what it is. So, I mean, 2 of these, 2 of the 4 Anglo-Allied event chits are really relevant to the river and the river Douro in particular. Yeah. Okay, so I'll do the first operation. I'm going to do this force. Yep, that's Beresford. He does have to roll for command. Oh, 2 plus 1 for his strategic value. Beresford has a mixed force, so it's not all cavalry, but he does have plus another 1 for the line of communications back to Wellesley. It goes. I wonder if you can do line of communications over the trails. I'll check up on that at some point. So 2 for half of the MPs. Yeah, you have to get 5 or more to get full MPs. Oh, I did see between plays here, play sessions here. You round up all fractions. So, no, it doesn't matter here because the slowest unit are the artillery and the baggage trains for 4. Have that to 2. Yep, they are going to push on. So they follow the road there for 1. I have my cup now to draw fatigue markers randomly. So the very first one is fatigue 1. Okay, not an issue. And then 2. Make it to Lamego. And so they draw. Okay, draw at 0. It doesn't matter. Okay, so they're okay. In other words, they don't take losses here from the march. They're not going to break up or anything. They're going to stay together, which means they can't go any further because they've exhausted, again, the movement value of the baggage train and the artillery. And I invert them for their activation. Like that.